ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितञ्जदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यः। नमो नमः श्री गौडपाद श्री शंकर भगवत्पाद सुरेश्वराचार्येभ्यः। नमो गुरुभ्यः। प्रज्ञानां सुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् उक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरभिदिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् सुखति मधुरं मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। उपासनाश्रितो धर्मः जादे ब्रह्मणि वर्तते प्रागुत्पत्तेरजं सर्वं तेनासौ कृपणः स्मृतः। The Advaita Prakaranam is the third Prakaranam where the Karikakara, Gaudapada Acharya, is using tarka or reasoning to establish that Advaitam is Satyam. Already in the second chapter, in Vaidatya Prakarana, the Dvaita Bhava has been established to be non-real. So in this chapter, Karikakara is picking up Tarka. Tarka is primarily by giving Hetu and Drishtanta. Like in the second Prakarana, in Vaitatya Prakarana, the examples given were Swapanamaya, Gandharva Nagara. Those are the Drishtanta. And the Hetu given was Drishyatvat, Antavatvat, and few more. Through these, the Grahya Grahaka Beda was established to be not real. So in this chapter, the Advaita Tatparya is picked up. And like we discussed briefly in the previous session, the Advaita is revealed only through Agama. Only through Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, the Vastu can be revealed. The Pramana Apeksha is there because Atma is not available for objectification for you to go and pursue and figure it out. because it is hidden in the pursuer, grahaka. Therefore, since it is not available as a grahya, and there is all the grahyas which are there are also Atma only, it is not available for you to independently go and gain it, this jnana. Therefore, agama only is the pramanam. However, the tarka can be used because, like I said, Atma is available for contention. Everybody makes one or other conclusion about Atma based on how you perceive who you are. And that conclusion is not rooted on a pramana vyavahara, but based on swabhavika pravritti, the natural inclinations of conduct by which avichara siddham, it is taken as something. We take it as something, then there are acharyas who also come and say Atma is anumatram. We saw, okay, earlier in the second prakaranam, prana iti pranavidaha, mana iti manavidaha, all that. So there are many such ways it is taken. Therefore, Atma is available for contention. Therefore, tarka, there is a scope for tarka to discuss it, at least to dismiss all other opinions. In that context only, the Advaita Prakaranam is started. Upasanashritaha dharmaha jate brahmani vartate, jate brahmani vartate, prag utpattehe ajam sarvam tena asau kripanaha smritaha. Jate brahmani, the Brahman which is born, okay, the born Brahman. This whole verse, this section is Ajati discussion. The Brahman is not unborn. Ajati Brahma is the import. Jate Brahmani, in the born Brahman, the Brahman which has been born as this Jagat, the manifest world, is taken as Jate Brahmani, Upasana Ashrita Dharmaha Vartade. There is the quality of it being meditated to be object of meditation. By meditating, what happens? This utpattehe prak ajam sarvam. So this person who takes asau kripana smritaha, the person who takes, what does this person take as? Pragutpattehe ajam. This unborn, it was before the world was created. Now there is a born Brahman, and through upasana one gains it, is what people take. So that is a big argument. This upasana is being picked up here. What is the reality? See, there is no problem with upasana. Okay, we are not talking about the need of upasana or efficacy of upasana, all that. And this is also Vaidika upasana. The Vedas, especially Upanishads, they talk about many upasana. Every Upanishad has a huge section on upasana, like Chandogya. The first 3-4 chapters all talk about upasana only. Taittiriya also, the first chapter, Dikshavalli, is all about upasana. Similarly, Brihadaranyaka, everything talks about upasana. This Veda upasana only we are talking about, not like candle meditation, this, that, not that kind of a thing. Even this Vaidika meditation, upasanas, okay, though they are they have efficacy, they are needed, all that. However, they are taken up for discussion because there is a certain philosophy also which goes with it in the case of many theologies. By doing these upasanas, you go back to the unborn Brahman. That is their philosophy. It was earlier unborn. Okay. Pragutpattehe ajam. That Brahman. Now what happened? It has become this world. Parinamavada. So what do you have to do? You do upasana of that Brahman so that you can get back to the Ajadi, the Brahman which is Aja Brahma. Now it is a Jada Brahma. So they take as though it is a born. It has a parinama, avayava, all that. The whole Brahman which was Nirguna Brahma, which was not born, is now born into this Jagat. Therefore, you have to do upasana to go back. That is the philosophy. That is what is being addressed here. Okay, and by Pratama Malla Nyayena, if this is addressed, everything else is under this. All your Visishta, Advaita, Advaita, Sankhya, everything is about Parinami only. There is a problem which has come about. And that problem, for it to be removed, you have to go back, all those things. Okay. So that is what is being looked at. ओंकार निर्णये उक्तः प्रपंचोपशमः शिवः अद्वैतः आत्मा इति प्रतिज्ञामात्रेण ज्ञाते द्वैतं न विद्यते इति च. This all we saw. Okay, what has been so far covered in the first two chapters. Prapanchopashama Shivaha, once it is known, then Dvaitam na vidyate. Tatra Dvaitabhavaha tu Vaidadya Prakaranena Swapnamaya Gandharvanagaraadi Drishtantaihi Drishyatwadi Antavatwadi Hetubhihi Tarkena cha Pratipaditaha. Like we said, the Dvaita Bhava in the Vaidadya Prakaranam has been, the Dvaita Bhava has been shown as Vitata, Swapnamaya, Gandharva Nagaradi, Drishtantehi, Drishyatwadi, Antavatwadi Hetubhihi, Tarkena Pratipaditaha, Vaitatyam. Then Advaitam Kim Agama Matrena Pratipattavyam. Is Advaitam only available for Agama? Ahosvit Tarkenapi. Or is it available for Tarka, Nyaya? Iti, in that context only, this is started. Sakyate Tarkena api jnatum tat katham iti Advaita Prakaranam arabhyate. This Advaita Prakaranam is started for showing through Tarka the Advaita Vastu is all that is there. Upasya Upasanadi Bhedajatam Sarvam Vitatham. Kevalascha Atma Advayaha Paramarthaha iti Stitam Atite Prakarane. The Grahya Grahaka Veda is what is shown here as Upasya Upasanadi Bhedajatam Sarvam Vitatham. Upasya, Upasana, Upasakaha. Therefore, Adi Pada is there. Adi Bhedajatam Sarvam. So that which is to be meditated upon, the meditator and the meditation, all of them are Vitatham. Because it is all Surupa only. What is the Surupa? Kevalascha Atma Advayaha. It is the Atma which is the non-dual Surupa, which is Paramarthaha iti Sthitam Atite Prakarane. In the previous chapter, it was established. Yataha Upasanasritaha Upasanam Atmanaha Moksha Sadhanatvena Gataha Upasakaham Upasyam Brahma. What is this Upasanasritaha Dharmaha? Upasanam Atmanaha Moksha Sadhanatvena Gataha. Atmanaha Moksha Sadhanatvena Gataha Upasakaha Aham Mama Upasyam Brahma. This person takes Brahman as Mama Upasya Vastu. It is not me. It doesn't include me. It is something outside me and available for my Upasana. I am supposed to do upasana on that Brahma, and I am a upasaka. And once I do the upasana of that Brahman, then moksha will happen. This is 99.99% of people think like that even today, right? Even Advaitis, even modern Vedanta, it's the same thing. The downward arrow, upward arrow, where a conscious thing has descended into an unconscious, inert world, and then inert world, after doing upasana and all that, has to be modified, and then you have to get back to the conscious. So there is a descent of conscious into inert and ascent of inert into conscious. All those things they talk about. So it is the same. That is even so. Some people talk like that. Some people say that I will do upasana and Bhagavan will take me to Vaikuntha. So this whole Vedanta and all is all for some intellectuals. This has nothing to do with me. For me, I will just rest in the Bhagavan and he will automatically give me moksha. All that kind of thing. It's all notions. Upasyam Brahma. Upasakaha aham. Mama upasyam Brahma. Moksha sadhanatvena gataha. It is purely through upasana that I will gain this Brahman. No Shravanam, Mananam and all needed. Just do upasana. Tad upasanam krutva jate brahmani idanim vartamanaha ajam brahma sharirapatat urdhvam pratipatsye pragutpattehe cha ajamidam sarvamaham cha. So tad upasanam krutva, after doing the upasanam of this Brahman, which Brahman? Jate brahmani idam vartamanaha. I am now existing in the Jata Brahma, the born Brahman. What do you mean born Brahman? Where there is the Namarupa, where there is this tangible earth world. So like the Big Bang happened and the whole world has come about because Brahman has transformed itself into this Jata Brahma. Therefore, this world is there in front of us. So where was this world? Sadeva Saumedamagrasite. Therefore, earlier it was Ajam Brahma, and that Ajam Brahma is now born as Jata Brahma now. Ajam Brahma Sharira Pata Urdhvam Pratipatsye. And this born, the unborn Brahma, so that is the Ajam Brahma, I will gain after Sharira Pata Urdhvam. After this body has fallen, I will go to this Ajam Brahma. See, if it is Ajam, then how there is a Jata Brahma? If it is unborn, then what is it being born into? Is being born the nature of Brahman? If that is inherent nature of Brahman, then there is nothing you can do about it. It will remain as a birth and death, born Brahman, Ajam Brahma, Jatam Brahma, Ajam Brahma, like that. It will go on like human beings, jivas being born and died, born and died. So nothing you can do. If it is truly Ajam Brahma, then what is there for you to come out of? Then it is only about gaining the jnanam, removing the ignorance. Therefore, this whole formation itself is a problem. That's what he's going to say. Jate Brahmani, people consider that it is a Jata Brahma. The Brahman is born into this world, as this world. Jate Brahmani idanim vartamanaha. This is a Parinami Vada. Parinami Karana and all that Vivarta Parinama Karana, all that we have already spoken few times. So here it is a Parinamavada where it is assumed that this Ajam Brahma is born as Vartamanam Brahma, which is the Jagat. Idanim Vartamanaha Jate. I am there in this as this one of this whole born world. Like the milk has become curd, curd has now butter, I am churning it. So I am there as butter in this whole thing. The Ajam Brahma was the milk, pure cow milk. Now it has got modified into this butter, and that is where I am. Okay, this is Parinamavada. Brahma, Brahmani idanim vartamanaha. Jate Brahmani vartamanaha. So I am in this born Jagat. Ajam Brahma Sharirapatat Urdhvam Pratipatsya. After the death, I will go and reach the Ajam Brahma, which is where? Somewhere in Kailasam or Vaikuntham or Goloka Vrindavanam or some heaven. Okay. Tripadasya Amritam Divi. So Bhagavan is Padosya Vishwabhutani. The whole creation is only 1/4. The 3/4 is in the heavens, Divi. He is sitting there in Vaikuntha. So Ajam Brahma Sharirapada Urdhvam Pratipatsye. I will go back. Why? Because Pragutpatteha cha Ajamidam Sarvamahancha. So before the birth Utpatti, it was all Ajam Brahma. I was Ajam Brahma, but now I am in the Jata Brahma. I will go back to Ajam Brahma. This is what is being assumed. Yadatmakoham Pragutpattehe Idanim Jataha Jate Brahmani ja Vartamanaha Upasanaya Punaha Tadeva Pratipatsye Iti evam Upasanashritah Dharmaha Sadakaha Yena evam Kshutra Brahmavite Tena Asau Karanena Kripanaha Dinaha Alpakaha Smritaha Nitya Brahmadarshibihi Mahatmabihi Iti Abhiprayaha. So he summarizes. Yadatmakaha aham pragutpattehe idanim jataha. Whatever was my form earlier, utpattehe prak, before I was born, whatever form I was, punaha tadeva pratipatsye. I will go back to the same form. From where? Jataha jate brahmani cha vartamanaha. Having been born in the born Brahman. Vartamanaha upasanaya. Through upasana. Punaha tadeva pratipatsye. I will go back to that same state. Like I am in deep sleep state, I am born as a vacant person. Now I will go back to deep sleep. Like this, there is a deep sleep is Brahman, and then the vacant is the Jata Brahman. Again, going back to deep sleep is Ajam Brahma. Like that, there is a change, is what is how they conceive this. And they give different theological names for it. One guy says it's Vaikuntha, another guy says it's Kailasa, another guy says it is Golok Vrindavan, and another guy says it's heaven. And the description of heaven is different for different one. Someone says hoors, someone says filled with fountains and trees. Another person says it has only Mahavishnu and all the people around him. Somebody says it is Kailasha where only Shiva is there, and someone says it is Krishna's Loka. There only, if I follow these acharyas, you can go to the highest. There are 4 levels. If you are only this, if you do this, you'll go to the highest level. If you do this, so you go to the 3rd level. If you don't do this, even if you are good, you will go to the lowest level. And if you don't, if you are, so all those, it's all stories. Okay, depending on which god the person has emotional commitment to, these stories are created. So when you die, they will come and take you to Vaikuntha. And then when you get in, people will prostrate to you and they will take you with full respect. Brahmaji himself will come and receive you. All these descriptions are there. That is how. Then this is all what from Jada Brahma, Ajada Brahma you go and gain by Upasana. And for that again so many. So this Ajata Brahma, if that also is sitting in one place, then I don't know what is the difference between the Jada Brahma and that Brahman. Anyway, so that also has attributes. If you have attribute, then birth and Nasha is always there. At least modification has to be assumed. You were sitting like this before, now he is sitting like this. So some change is there for the Brahman because there is a body, right? So this is all the problem. Yadatmakoham pragutpattehe idanim jataha jate brahmani ja vartamanaha upasanaya punaha tadeva pratipatsye iti evam upasana ashritaha dharmaha. So your whole dependence is on upasana. Then this level, different levels. By upasana, this person is an advanced soul. Okay. And this advanced soul by upasana, then once he sheds the mortal coil, he goes, takes Kapala Marga and through Archiradi Marga goes and reaches back the Aja Brahma. Like that and all, it is spoken. Okay. Now we have already seen, I think in Bhagavad Gita, all those Marga and all we already spoke about, whoever attended that, right? It has a certain understanding behind it, but people take it literally. Okay, that is where the problem is. Upasanashritaha dharmaha sadakaha yena evam kshudra brahmavit. Bhashyakara uses kshudra brahma because it's not, for him the Brahman is not complete. You know why? Because first one, he leaves himself from that Brahman. Okay, he is in that Brahman. That Brahman is limited. Also, if you want to give guna to Brahman, then you are distinguishing that Brahman from something else, whatever that something else is. Again, it is Kshudra Brahma only. The Purnam Brahma is being reduced to a Kshudra Brahma because you are giving it attributes, because you are leaving yourself away from it. If you are able to identify that Brahman, that means it has left you out. Then only you can objectify it. How else you will objectify? It has to be other than you. Then only you can objectify, right? Only what is other than you can be objectified. Okay. So the Jatam Brahma means, how do you know Jatam Brahma? Some attributes have to be there. Then only you can say it is Jatam. Without Avayava, how can something can be said as born? Only with Avayava, something can be said to be born. It looked like this before, it looks like this now. Means there is an attribute, there is an Avayava. So now this Avayava, if you are able to distinguish something with Avayava, that means there is something which is other than it. Then only you can distinguish, okay, this has 4 legs, means there is something which doesn't have 4 legs. Correct? Therefore, it is Kshudra Brahma. The person is not complete. One is the Brahman itself, Kshudra Brahma, or you can say the Brahman's Kshudra with the one's understanding is limited. That also we can say. The person is not fully understanding Brahman. As this Sarvakara Purna Brahma is his or her understanding is not proper, but you are understanding it in a very limited fashion. Kanchi Acharya Paramacharya used to say, it's only, so he used to say that Dvaiti also has understood Brahman only to an extent. Visishtadvaiti has gone little further and he has understood Brahman to a little bit more extent. Whereas an Advaiti is the one who has understood it full extent. So he takes that gradation view. Because an Advaiti accepts Dvaita from a Vyavahara perspective. So Dvaiti is accepted by Advaiti. So Visishta Advaiti is also accepted by Advaiti from a Saguna Brahma perspective. Okay. So that is also, so each one of these, and Laukikas are also anyway accepted as avidya. So therefore everything is accepted by Advaiti at a different level. And then finally Advaiti view is that it is Nirguna, which is what Shastra says anyway. Therefore his view was everybody is a Brahmavid, but Shudra Brahman, not a complete knowledge. So only Advaiti as a Purna Brahmavid. Everybody else is a Kshudra Brahmavid. Everybody has an understanding. Whatever you understand is about Brahman only, because there is nothing other than Brahman which exists. Therefore, what you are understanding is Brahman, but you are not properly understanding. That is what it means. No, that is another way to look at it, right? Therefore, the Kshudra Brahmavid means you don't have a full understanding. Because you don't have a full understanding, Tenasav Karanena, Kripanaha, Deenaha, Alpakaha, Smitaha. They are seen as the one who don't have complete knowledge. Kripanaha, Karpanya Doshopahatasvabhavaha, Gita says, right? Deenaha, Alpakaha, Alpam, okay, which is like incomplete. Smritaha. By whom? Nitya Ajab Brahma Darshibihi. The one who has knowledge of Nitya Ajab Brahma. Advaiti only. Just now we said, right? Advayam Brahma is what is Nitya Brahma, Ajab Brahma. So the Jatam Brahma is not Ajam Brahma. Advayam Brahma is Ajam Brahma. Tad Darshibihi, Jnani Bihi. So Bhashikara again says Mahatma Bihi. Iti Abhipraya. And he quotes Kenopanishad here. Yadvacha Anabhyutitam Yena Vag Abhyudhyade Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi Nedam Yedidam Upasate Ityadi Shrutehe Talavakaranam. In Talavakara Shaka of Samaveda, this Kenopanishad says Yad Vacha Abhyuditam. Uditam Anabhyuditam. Yad Vacha Anabhyuditam. Na Abhyuditam Vacha. By words, it is not Vachyartha, it is not known. Every object, anything which is spoken by words, it is not obtained. Okay, it is not available for Vachyartha. Yena Vag Abhyudhyate. By which the words become words. Okay, by which it gains its nature. Like Shrotasya Shrotram, Chakshusya Chakshuhu, that is the context. So by which all the words are lighted. But that which is not lighted up by the words Vakyartha, because it is not one object, any one object, right? Yadvacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. May you know that to be the Brahma, that which is lighting up the words. Na yedi idam upasate. Idantaya, whatever is seen, cognized. So that word upasana is used, upasate. Therefore, Bhashikara quotes that. Upasana shrito dharmaha is what is the karika. Therefore, whatever is available for your upasana, you are doing an upasana. By what? By mantra. Therefore, walk. Okay, by certain mantra and all that you are doing an upasana. Om Shankara Chakradharaya Namaha, something, let's say you say. Okay, this Shankara Chakradharaya Namaha, this is an upasana, right? Through your walk, you are saying this mantra, when chanting this, and you are doing an upasana. Now, is this by what your words and the associated meaning, whatever is available for your upasana, is that Brahma? Or the content of the one who is doing that upasana, is that Brahma? That is the question. Yad vacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate. And this, you are able to do this upasana because of what? What lends the satta spurti for you to be able to do this? So this Bhagavan also gets this Bhagavan, whatever that is upasyam Bhagavan, Ishvara, has to be illuminated by your Swarupa. Because the Astitvam, the Satta and Spurti, or that Upasya Vastu comes from where? From your own Swarupa only, no? So if that is Bhagavan, then that Bhagavan has a dependence on you. So obviously, so that can't be the Bhagavan. So the Bhagavan is your Swarupa, because of which everything is lighted up. Yadu vacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate. Tadeva Brahma Tvam. That means, we are not talking about your Ahankara, ego and all that. So don't think that, oh, I am Bhagavan. That's not the point. It is the Swarupa. Nothing is away from it also. It is not away from anything, but it is away from everything. Because the Nama Rupa is Mithya. In your understanding of your Swarupa, none of that is there. But in understanding of every other thing, your Swarupa has to be always there. When you have to say pot, the clay is there. Without thinking of a clay, you can't think of a clay pot. However, without thinking of a pot, you can think of the clay. Similarly, here, upasyam has to be pervaded by your Swarupa. But to understand your Swarupa, you don't need any upasya padartha. तेनासौ कारणेन कृपणः दीनः अल्पकः स्मृतः नित्य अज ब्रह्मदर्शिभिः महात्मभिः इति अभिप्रायः. And the upasana Shruti is quoting Yadvaja anabhyudidam yena vagabhyudyate tadeva brahma tvam vidhi. Na idam yat idam upasate idantaya upasate iti shrute. Ato vakshyamyakarpanyam ajati samatam gatam yata na jayate kinchite jayamanam samantataha. Ataha vakshyami akarpanyam ajati samatam gatam. Ajati is the word used for Brahman, that which is never born. Yatha na jayate kinchite jayamanam samantataha. Jayamanam vastu samantataha na jayate, okay, kinchite. Sabhakyabhyantaram ajam atmanam prativattum ashaknuvanne avidyaya deenam atmanam manyamanaha जातः अहं जाते ब्रह्मणि सर्वे तदुपासनाश्रितः सन् ब्रह्म प्रतिपत्स्य इति एवं प्रतिपन्नः कृपणः भवति यस्मात् अतः वक्ष्यामि अकार्पण्यम् अकृपणभावम् अजं ब्रह्म. This Brahman is akarpanyam, akripana Why sabahya abhyantaram ajam atmanam pratipattum ashaknuvan. So there are people who are unable to recognize what sabahya abhyantaram ajam. So the Brahman we have already seen in the previous prakarana is sabahya abhyantaro hi ajaha. It is beyond bahya and abhyantara. It is along with bahya and abhyantara. So outside and inside means it is not locatable. It is deshataha aparichinnam. It is not hindered by the deshakala. Therefore, it is called sabahya abhyantaram ajamatmanam, that brahmavastu pratipattum Drashtum ashaknuvanne. Due to inability to recognize what it is, avidyaya, through an understanding based on ignorance, avidyaya, deenam atmanam manyamanaha. The person takes oneself to be Dina. Okay, the one who is dependent on this Jata Brahma. Jatoham, I am born. Where? Jate Brahmani Varte. In the born Brahman, which is in the form of Jagat, I am there. It's same thing, whatever was told in the last verse. Tad upasanashritaha sanne. The one dependent on the upasana of this Jata Brahma. Brahma Pratipatsya iti evam Pratipannaha Kripanaha Bhavati. They are the ones who are Kripanas, as told in the previous verse. Yasmat, therefore, Ataha Vakshyami, I will tell you, Akarpanyam Akripana Bhavam Ajam Brahma. What is this Akripana Bhava Brahma? What is the Brahman which is without any Karpanyam in it? Okay, let me tell you. Okay. Tadhi Karpanya Aspadam. What? Yatra Anyaha Anyat Pashyati Anyat Shrunoti Anyat Vijanati Tadalpam. In Chandogya. Anyaha Anyat Pashyati. Seeing one as different from the other. The duality. Not that you should not see. There is inherently they are different. That is the thing, right? Where it is actually it is one. When Brahman is all that is here, if you see as though one is different from the other from Swarupa perspective. Okay, it's not the perception of the world. Jnani also will see the food is, outside his body. That is not the point. Anyaha Anyat Pashyati doesn't mean that, you just do a delusional walk all the time. It is Vastutaha, they are different, is what it is. So they don't see Anyaha Anyat Pashyati, Anyat Shrunoti, Anyat Vijanati. So cognized as different from one another. Iti, where it is there, Tadalpam. That is a limitedness only, Karpanyam. Alpam means Karpanyam. Martyam tate. Vachalambanam vikaro namadheyam ityadi shrutibhyaha. There is no content there. It is only name and form. There is no content. The moment you get into the content becomes Satta Spurti, which is Atma only. It is only like a collection. You see one thing, you break it up, you see many things. And those again you break it up, you see many things. Those you break it up, again it becomes many things. And like we also saw, what if you say it is a Gunavate, what is the Guna? What is the Guna Guni Sambandha? Again, the Guna doesn't seem to exist. This is through Tarka, but Shruti also anyway shows that, hey, just see that it is all nothing away from the Chaitanya Swarupa. Therefore, Vacharambanam Vikara Namadheyam Ityadi Shrutibhyaha. So if you see reality in them, it's only Vacharambanam. But if you see that they are born, truly born, then it is Karpanya. You are leaving the Purnatvam of Brahman and looking at the limitations of Brahman. Not limitations of Brahman, limitations as Brahman, you can say. Tad viparitam sabhakyabhyantaram ajam akarpanyam bhumakhyam brahma. On the contrary, whatever is sabhakya abhyantaram ajam that we just saw, that akarpanyam bhuma is the pada used for Brahman. Akhyam, bhuma vidya, inside, right? That in Taitri also Bhashyakara quotes Yadrupena Yannischitam Tadrupam Navyabhicharati Tat Satyam. There I think Bhuma pada is used. Yat prapya avidyagrita sarvakarpanya nivrittihi tad akarpanyam vakshyami. Yat prapya, having gained which, avidyagrita sarvakarpanya nivrittihi. And how this karpanyatvam has come about? Because of the avidyagrita buddhi. Okay, the perception driven by the ignorance, the buddhi which is colored by avidya, which is not able to see things as it is. Yatartha darshanam, with this Brahma darshanam, is colored because of avidya. That is the cause of karpanyatvam. Tasya nivritti tad akarpanyam vakshyamiti tad ajati avidyamana jatihi asya. So that is the ajati. Avidyamana jatihi. There is no birth. There is no attribute of birth in this Brahman because it doesn't have any avayava, it doesn't have any guna, it is beyond time and space. The time is illuminated by it. It just is as is. It doesn't change. Therefore, there is no birth. It is called ajati. Ajatihi avidyamana jatihi asya. There is no birth in it. Okay, there is no jati in it. So it's called ajati Brahma. Samatam gatam sarvasamyam gatam kasmat avayava vaishamya bhavat. Okay, it is one of samata, sarvasamyam. Why? Because avayava vaishamya, there is no avayava, there is no vishamata of avayava. It is not colored, it is not, there is no parts. Brahman is without any part. Nishkalaha, Bhashyakara said in the previous Bhashya, right? So it is without any parts. So because it is without any parts, there is no birth. For something to be born, it has to have avayava. Yadhi savayavam vastu tad avayava vaishamyam gacchate jayate iti uchyate. Only if there is a modification of avayava, something can be said to be born. Earlier this body was like this, then it became a baby, then it grows. So this avayava changes. Earlier it was food, it went into hen's mouth through, and then it became an egg, and then it is born. Now egg shape is broken and then something else comes out. Then again that changes, that changes. What changes? Avayava changes. So it was clay, there is an avayava of clay that becomes pot. Pot has a different avayava, it has a neck, it has rims, it has a belly, that is pot. It has avayava. Where Chaitanya, where is avayava? It just isness. What is avayava then? So only when there is avayavam, yadi savayavam vastu, tad avayava vaishamyam gacchate, jayate, jayataha iti uchyate. When the avayava is changed, jayate. Idantu niravayavatvāt samatam gatamiti na kaischid avayavaihi sputati. So this Nirguna Brahma, there is no avayava. Ataha ajatihi akarpanyam samantadaha samantad. Fully there is no karpanya in it. It is so unborn. Therefore it is unborn. Akarpanyam, there is no limitation. There is no karpanyatvam. Yata na jayate kinchite alpamapi na sputati. Rajju sarpavat avidyagrita drishtya jayamanam ena prakarena na jayate. Jayamanam na jayate. As though it is born. Rajju sarpavat avidyagrita drishtya, avidyagrita buddhya. So only due to the ignorance, the mind colored by ignorance, it is seen as though a snake is born from a rope, but there is no birth. It is only mithya, adhyasika srishti. Rajju sarpavate avidya krita drishtiya jayamanam yena prakarena na jayate sarvataha ajameva brahma bhavati tata tam prakaram shrunu. So then how is it born? This ajam brahma, okay, is born just like sarpa is born on Rajju. Then how is it born, the srishti? So is it only like a complete, like a superimposed snake on the rope, or is there a srishti? So he brings a different drishtanta here. Atma hi akashavad jivaihi ghatakashairi bodhita ghatadivaccha sangataihi jata vetan nidarshanam. So this ghatakasha mahakasha is spoken elaborately here. Akashavate atma jivaihi ghatakashaihi iva uditah. A ghatakasha is born where ghatadivaccha sangataihi jatau etan nidarshanam. The ghatakasha, there is a space inside the pot. So with the birth of pot, or you bring a pot into the room, bring a pot into the room. Suppose there is a room, you are in the room. So you are bringing a pot into the space in the room. Now you see there is space inside the pot and there is a space outside the pot. Okay. So there is a ghatakasha, then there is a mahakasha. So the ghatakasha is now born. Earlier in the room there was no mahakasha. Now suddenly there is, earlier there was no ghatakasha. Suddenly this ghatakasha is born because a ghata came into the room. A pot space is born inside the room space. So now there is one pot space. Suppose you bring another jar, then jar space is also born. So one mahakasha is there, then you have one ghatakasha and then one jar akasha. Okay. So this is what is called jivatma srishti. Akashavat jivaihi ghatakashaihi va hetu garbhita drishtanta. So its hetu also is here in this. And we will come to that. Ghatadivaccha sangataihi jatau etan nidarshanam. Due to the sanghata, gata sanghatam, sanghata gataha, there is this birth. So this upadi gataha, there is a ghatakasha birth. Upadi avachinnatvam is what it is. The gata upadi tadavachinnaha ghatakasha. Similarly, dehadi sanghata avidya avachinna jiva atma. That is how it is. Ajati brahma akarpanyam vakshyami iti pratignatam. So I will show you what is the ajati brahma, is what is the pratigna. Tat siddhyartam hetum drishtannam cha vakshyami iti aha. I'll tell you the hetu and drishtanta. That is the tarka. Hetu drishtanta is the tarka. Like we said, this Gandharva Nagara Rajju Sarpa drishtanta was used for Vaitatyam, and Drishyatvat, Antavatvat, all these things were used as the hetu. Similarly, let's see what is used here. Ajadi Brahma Akarpanyam Vakshyami. What is this Ajadi Brahma? There is no birth for this Brahman. It is never born. That Brahman I will show you. Through what? Hetu and Drishtanta. Itiyaha. Atma Paraha. Yasmat. Akashavat Sukshmaha. Niravayavaha. Sarvagataha. Akashavati Uktaha Jivaihi Kshetrajnaihi Ghatakashaihi Iva घटाकाशतुल्यैः उदितः उक्तः स एव आकाशसमः पर आत्मा. This Atma is para. It is beyond all this Dehadi Sangata, all this different things which are constraining what is this Atma. It is beyond all these limitations. Aparichinnam, Deshakala Aparichinnam. How Akashavat Sukshmaha, just like the Akasha, it is subtle. With reference to things objectified, it is subtle. Because it is there in every objectified thing, yet at the same time it is not evidently seen. So it is Sukshmaha. Akashavat Niravayavaha, there is no parts, just like Akasha. The Chaitanyam doesn't have any parts. Every part is illuminated by it. That's all. It is Niravayavaha. And it is Sarvagataha. There is nothing which is where there is no Brahman. It is always illuminated by Brahman. Its existence is proven by Brahman only. Akashavat Uktaha Jivaihi Kshetrajnaihi Ghatakashaihi va. So this Atma Akashavat Jivaihi Kshetra in the Kshetra, which is the Deha, the Sangata, and the Jagat which is there, that Kshetra, the one who knows that is Kshetrajna. Kshetram Janati iti Kshetrajna. Jiva is the Kshetrajna, the one who knows the Kshetra. That this body and all that, the one that is recognizing it. Pratyagatma. That is Jiva by them. Ghatakashaihi va Ghatakashatulyahi uktaha. How the Ghatakasha is with reference to the Mahakasha, Sarvagata Akasha, the same way is Jiva with reference to the Paratma. Sayeva Akasha Samaha Paratma. Like the Mahakasha is the Paratma. So the example, the Drishtanta and the Ashtanta are both shown here. Atava Ghatakashaihi yata Akashaha Uditaha Utpannaha. So this Uditaha Bhashyakara first translated it as Uktaha. So there is a little bit Aruchi there. Therefore he gets to a different meaning, saying that Ghatakashaihi yata Akashaha Uditaha Utpannaha. Okay, instead of saying it was told like that, here he is saying how it is born. What is born? Ghatakasha is born from the Akasha. Is it really born? In fact, that Akasha was always there, and in the part which is brought into the space itself is in the space, and through the pot is also pervaded already by space. Only in your mind you are seeing an enclosed space. There is no enclosed space inside the pot. The pot is pervaded by space. That's it. Only that avachinnatvam, and that is only in your mind. See, this whole this example, the problem with this example is the pot also, that upadhi is a tangible upadhi. So then we will think that this body mind also is like a pot, and within this body mind the atma is pervading, as like it is pervading in the pot and all that. Okay, therefore usually the upadhi is the avidya upadhi is what is spoken about. Okay, there is no, see, if you have to say this body mind sense complex is the upadhi, then that upadhi has to go away for you to see the param brahma, because avachinnatvam continues even with after ignorance goes, right? Therefore that it is avidya avachinna is what is the better. That is how Shastra looks at it. Tata paraha jivatmabihi utpannaha. Jivatmanam parasmad atmanaha utpattihi ya shruyate vedanteshu sa mahakashad ghatakashotpatti sama. na paramarthatah iti abhiprayah. We will see in detail, but this Jivatma Utpatti from Paratma is like how Ghatakasha Utpatti from Mahakasha. Therefore, there is no Utpatti. So there is no Jata Brahma. Sajati Brahma only. This is what will be established. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.